欢迎回来。在我们下一个场次正式开始之前呢，有2位贵宾要在这边特别向大家介绍，让我们一起欢迎工会的理事长梁淑娟，欢迎，以及也是工会的张伟如理事长，欢迎。那我们接下来的这个场次呢，让我们一起邀请劳动部劳动及职业安全卫生研究所何俊杰主任秘书担任本场次的主持人。Please welcome Chief Secretary of ILOSH 何俊杰 to serve as our moderator。掌声欢迎。
Good morning. Today we are pleased to invite Dr. Yu Shuwei as the keynote speaker in the section. Dr. Yu is the chairman of the Safety and Health Technology Center, and his specialties are chemical engineering, risk assessment and management on occupational safety and health. And today he will be sharing with us his expert opinion on the topic, protection of human rights through toxic substance exposure. With that, I ask that you give your full attention to Dr. Yu and help me in welcoming him to the stage. Dr. Yu.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And I promise you that we are going to have our lunch at 12:30. Okay, so don't worry about it. And also, I want to share one piece of information with you. We all three went to also Professor Chen, we went to the World Congress of last year. Yeah, we had a good time at the Congress, and also we had a good time in Singapore. And I'm from SATEC, the Safety and Health Technology Center. We are an NGO founded in 2007. We are a very small organization. We only have about 40 staff members, and we are a technical service provider. We specialize in process safety management, occupational health and safety management, as well as chemical management. And since the early 1990s or the late 1980s, the Ministry of Labor has enacted the hazard communication rule. So hazard communication has been enforced by Dr. Zhou's agency for about 30 years. And the globally harmonized system for chemical classification and labeling was welcomed by the Ministry of Labor in 2005 or 2006 because we held an APEC-sponsored capacity building workshop in Taiwan in 2003. And also, the Taiwan OSHA is the primary agency responsible for existing chemical registration, as well as new chemicals authorization. Okay, so Taiwan OSHA is one of the agencies, but Taiwan OSHA is the primary agency responsible for chemical classification, registration, and authorization. Okay, and today I'm talking about maybe an old topic, but there is a recent development, promulgated or being acted upon by the Human Rights Council of the United Nations. And so my topic is protection of human rights. Okay, we upgrade, the worker protection to the level of human rights through toxic substances exposure prevention. And brief, presentation outline, human rights of workers. And I think, we are all concerned, we are all been, very actively in this area for years. NIOSH and other member countries' institutes. Challenges to the right of workers affected by toxic substances. Not just, toxic substances, but also we are concerned about the exposure to all kinds of chemicals. But today's topic will focus on toxic substances. The principles to protect the workers from exposure to toxic substances, once again being proposed by ILO and some other international organizations. And also, I want to propose, maybe without prior permission from the hosting the institute, concerning maybe a collaboration research project among ASHRAE, member institutes, because maybe later on, Dr. Zhou, he can share our experiences, here in Taiwan concerning chemical regulations. The UN Human Rights Council's report of the special rapporteur on the implications for human rights of the environmentally sound management and the disposal of hazardous substances and wastes. And maybe in the United States or in Malaysia, you don't have to worry about the industrial waste. But here in Taiwan, we are a small country with only 36,000 square kilometers. We are very keen on the effective handling, safe handling of all kinds of waste. And the declaration states that everyone has a right to just and favorable conditions of work. And every worker has a right to dignity, to be treated ethically, and with respect and without being subjected to harsh conditions of work. Every now and then, we'll still run into some illegal cases here in Taiwan, particularly concerning migrant workers, all right? And because of the exposure to toxic substances at work, and every 15 seconds, one worker would die. And globally, close to 2.8 million workers die every year because of occupational injuries and occupational ill health cases. So globally, about 160 million cases of occupational diseases are reported annually. And normally, cases like this have always been underreported. And inaction by states, government agencies, and businesses on this global public health crisis has a grave cost on the global GDP around 4%. And the human rights of workers and rights to safe and healthy working conditions, the culture of prevention, the primary expected outcomes of ISO 45001, and rights to information, participation, and association, and also rights of workers at heightened risks. So risk assessment, both for occupational injuries and for ill health cases, are very critical, and rights to an effective remedy. And challenges to the rights of workers affected by the exposure to toxic substances, and inadequate standards of protection. And the protection levels, vary from one country to another. And limited progress in preventing exposure to toxic substances. And the monitoring and enforcement gaps, as mentioned by Mr. He, about what NIOSH has been doing, over the years. Exploitation of those at risk. Okay, over here in Taiwan, we don't have any child labor anymore. Informal economy. This would definitely, hinder the progress we can witness among maybe, larger corporations or to those, SMEs which follow strictly or very closely regulatory requirements. Okay, informal economy. Over here in Taiwan, we have limited amount of informal economy, and the deliberate efforts to delay or obstruct protection out of ignorance or out of stupidity. And from the exposure to toxic substances, opaque supply chains. Over here in Taiwan, most of the companies, have their OHSAS 18001, the Occupational Health and Safety Management System, set up because of their customers' demands. And this is particularly in this area, in the Asia Pacific region, the demands from the supply chain, is a big factor. And transfer hazardous work to other countries, from one big company to SMEs. And also the disconnected efforts on occupational and environmental health. It varies among companies, varies among countries. Failures to realize the right to information. Okay, the workers' right to information. And how can we disseminate, the safety data sheets effectively, okay, to the customers, to the general public, and particularly to our workers. And limited implementation of ILO instruments. Okay, this is one of the publications from the ILO, and they have been focusing on labor rights, workers' rights for more than one century. And restrained freedom of association, association with outside organizations, with unions, okay, and inaccessible remedies, justice and accountability, who are responsible for the final ill health prevention, the government agencies or the employers or the unions. So principles to prevent exposure. Okay, 15 principles being promulgated in this particular documentation. Principle 1, states have a duty to protect the human rights of all workers through the prevention of exposure to toxic substances. The states have the responsibility. Principle number 2, business enterprises have a responsibility to prevent occupational exposure to toxic substances through regulations, through regulatory enforcement. And number 3, hazard elimination is paramount in preventing occupational exposures. One of the most effective ways in prevention is trying to eliminate all those hazards. And then, as mentioned, or as required by ISO 45001, and all business enterprises, they should continually to reduce safety and health risks. And principle number 4, workers have the right, okay, not to be exposed to toxic substances. So this is their right. But also, at the same time, how can we prevent them from worrying about inadequate, unjust consequences, and subsequent actions by employers? So we need to educate the labor. We need to educate the workers. We need to set up the environment so the workers have the right not to be exposed to toxic substances without their prior informed consent. This is one of the means for effective communications between organization and between employees concerning potential exposure to toxic substances. Number 5, duties and responsibilities to prevent the exposure of workers to toxic substances extend beyond the borders. The business, being transferred from one country to another country, and how can we prevent the transfer of health risks from one country to another country, from one people to another people? And states must prevent third parties from distorting scientific evidence because all coming from research institutes. We base our observations. We base our proposals based on scientific basis, scientific discoveries. So the states must prevent third parties from distorting scientific evidence. For your information, I'm not sure about Malaysia or Korea, but over here in Taiwan, some of the environmental protection groups or the activist groups, they, to a certain degree, have hindered the economic development here in Taiwan because we have the environmental impact assessment regulatory requirements, and they would delay normally, in average, delay a huge industrial project by 5 years, right? And all manipulating the processes to perpetuate exposure, manipulation of the scientific results, maybe by reporting only in those data which they view are beneficial to them. How can we prevent this kind of bias? And protecting workers from exposure to toxic substances protect their families. Okay, prevention protects their families, their communities, and the environment. And every worker has a right to know. The worker's right to know hazard communication, including their rights. And principle number 9, health and safety information about toxic substances must never be made confidential. The next one is the right to safe and healthy work is inseparable from freedom of association. The right to organize and the right to collective bargainings. 11, workers, representatives of workers, whistleblowers, and rights defenders must all be protected from reprisal and the threat of reprisal. One of the requirements of ISO 45001. Principle number 12, governments should criminalize allowing workers to be exposed to substances that are known or should be known to be hazardous. I think most of us have the regulatory regulations in place. Oops. Number 13, workers, their families, and their communities must have immediate access to an appropriate and effective remedy. In timely access, which should be available from the time of exposure. The next one is that workers or their families should not bear the burden of proving the cause of their illness or disability to access an effective remedy. The duty will not be borne by the workers or their families. Principle number 15, the states should assert jurisdiction for cross-border cases of workers, especially among the ASEAN countries. Cross-border cases of workers harmed by occupational exposure. And note the principles in red. Maybe the potential candidates to be selected by a collaborative, research project, which will be hopefully proposed by the hosting institute this afternoon. So I, would like to share some of my thoughts on this particular issue with you prior to your afternoon's meeting. And the research project, the Institute of the Labor Occupational Safety and Health Institute, Ministry of Labor, Taiwan, proposes a collaborative, research project based on the special rapporteur of the UN Human Rights Council to understand the nature of and to propose possible means to reduce workers' exposure to toxic substances both at the state and the enterprise levels. The institute will coordinate, hopefully, all the activities of the research project. The expected outcome of the project, regional and national profiles and KPI development against the principles 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 12, 14 of the special rapporteur. Primary research activities. Participating institutes will jointly conduct the following: the development of the scope of work, how many principles to be selected, to be chosen from the 15 principles, and the national survey, situation and gap analysis among the joint institutes, joining institutes, annual progress report, right? And project KPI development. How can we, evaluate the success of the joint research project? Okay, and this is my outline of the proposed, chemical management research project among ASHRAE members, and hopefully with the Institute of Labor, Occupational Safety and Health as taking the leading role, and also the active support from Taiwan OSHA. We can learn from other member countries, and also we would like to share our experiences, along with some failures with other member countries. Once again, Taiwan OSHA has been very active in the chemical registration and authorization over the past maybe 7 or 8 years, no more than 10 years. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Yu. And next, I would like to invite Dr. Yoso Toyosawa, and he is the chairperson of the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health in Japan. And I believe he could share many experience how they protect their workers and in Japan. So, welcome.
Hello, maybe good morning. Just before 12 o'clock. So I will have 10 minutes. At first, I'd like to express my special thanks for the Minister of Labor and also ILOS. So thank you. Thank you very much for giving me a chance to speak. So I'd like to talk about the Japanese current situation of occupational safety and health briefly. This is the overall view of our fatalities number of in Japan. You can see the number of reduced. The last year we have about 1,000 workers died in a year in all industry. So the Minister of Health, Labor and Welfare released the new occupational safety health program this year. So the program's goal is number of fatalities should be reduced by at least 15% in 5 years. And number of casualties should be reduced by at least 5%. Compared to Singapore or Korea, this is a very small value. So I regress. So this program says the 3 priority area. Is one is safety, and one is health, including well-being, and 3 is cross-industrial approach. So I will explain briefly. The one is safety, to reduce severe accident, fatal accident in construction industry and manufacturing industry. The fall is a main problem in construction. The maybe same as in Asia countries or over the countries. The government requires the require the appropriate walking pattern. This working floor, handrail, enclosures, scaffolding, etc. For the height place, like that. And also, they have to do. When you make the scaffolding in the top, there's the dangerous, so like that. So the government recommends this kind of erection method. The worker puts the handrail before the lower level, before puts the floor. So it's no, the worker no risk fall down. And also the full harness in more than 5 meter height work will be mandatory from next February. The government organized the committee. This is me. I am the chairperson of this committee, and this is a photo I took in the maker want to sell this kind of harness. So they propaganda like that. So the 5 meter is maybe very high. So in Japan, more than 2 meters is regulated by the provision of working for provision of ordinance. So they have to make some structure to prevent worker fall, and also protect net or use safety belt. But when you wear the regular harness, the fall height is 5 meters, because the shock absorber or something to reduce the shock to the worker when worker fall down. The minimum height should be 5 meters to protect worker to crush the ground. So, but worker should the construction company should manage the for example the shorten the lanyard or shorten the something, so to reduce the height. So they can use less than 5 meters. And manufacturing industry is the risk assessment is a point, and providing machine users with information on the residual risk is a main point. And in the function safety on machine, it means collaboration with the robot and workers. So the rules should be changed. So the government want to make new rules for the function safety on machines to prevent the workers hurt by robots. So we also utilize AI, IoT for safety. We call it Safety 2 in Japan. And we move to the health problem. The one is the karoshi in Japan, overtime work. the 1/5 of employees at risk of death from overwork. I mean, the Japanese companies have a month of overtime, over 80 hours a month. So this is the news of the 1926. The young lady killed herself just 8 months into the new job at Dentsu after working up to 105 extra hours in a month. And another case, the lady, Japanese reporter, died after clocking 159 hours of overtimes. So there was a big movement against karoshi. Also, the company should pay to the compensation pay to the workers. It's very big. So the Prime Minister Abe Shinzo make a commission of workside reform, and the labor standard law revised this year, June. The overtime limit hours is 45 hours per month and 360 hours per year in principle. And also the unhealthy blood pressure, blood sugar and fat may trigger brain or heart disease has exceeded half of workers and increased year and year in Japan because of the aging population is increased. So government support from primary doctors, companies and industry doctors is the key point. And I do talk about the disorder due to chemical substance. So in Japan, 7 printing workers died by blue duct cancer due to dichloromethane, and 5 workers has died by the autotrazine by bladder cancer. Bladder cancer means this one. So this is very important case in Japan. So globally, the chemical substances are over 7,000. The new substance is about 1,000 per year. In Japan, regulated substances are about just 100. The dichloromethane and autotrazine are not regulated in the ordinance of specified chemical substance in Japan. So it's moved to the specified chemical substance now. And Japanese government want to countermeasures are necessary using label, and SDS, safety data sheet, is needed for the new production of the chemicals. And asbestos problem is very big problem will be Japan. Because we imported a lot from the world in 1970 or 1990. So we use a lot of asbestos in buildings. So after 50 years, we have to demolish all the buildings. Maybe the asbestos cause the disease will be increased. So the government have a committee from this July to strengthen the OSH regulation. I'm a chairperson of this committee. And big construction for Tokyo Olympic 2020 is now under construction. This is the final image of the Arctic Center swimming pool. This is this picture shows the now construction, under construction now. This is the final view of the Olympic construction. in 2012 London Olympic build has no fatalities. So we want to the Tokyo Olympic build should be zero fatalities. So the government had a council for safety and health on the facility construction site. The government, client, contractor, subcontractor, labor unions, and JNUS, this is me, gathered the council as a member. So we discuss about safety and health. So the policies in the council is obligation of the client is important. The clients should be involved in this the council and in this safety and health. The clients should be an important role in this program. So our goal is zero accident. But we have one young worker suicide after 190 hours over. In Tokyo 2020. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Toyosawa. I believe you prepare many slides to share with us due to time constraint. Well, next I would like to invite Dr. Oropen Wuntimanong. And sorry if I pronounce it incorrect. And she is the Senior Technical Officer from Bureau of Occupational and Environmental Diseases, Department of Disease Control from Thailand. And today his topic is protection of human. Are you sure? I think it's okay. Well, that's welcome, Dr. Oropen. Thank you.
Maybe I have to say good afternoon to everyone. Thank you, Ministry of Labor Taiwan, that invite me to talk about the protection of human rights through toxic substance exposure prevention. And I will talk maybe is that Dr. Yu said before, maybe I just brief the case study in Thailand that we pay attention to the human rights. So I just talk two parts within 10 minutes. The first part we will talk about the research and R2R that we work in Thailand. This research maybe everyone had known already regarding the occupational health and safety, that we would like to find the answer that we have unknown before to prevent the occupational injury or disease, or for diagnosis and health problem, and also finally would like to improve the quality of life for workers living with illness. This is the occupational health and safety research concept. Why is this important? So I would like to talk about the routine to research. That is the concept that we use in Thailand for every work, especially in public health work or also in other like engineer or economic many fields that use the concept of routine to research. Routine to research that we call is a short name is R2R. R2R is we would like to improve routine work with research. And when we conduct the routine job, every job maybe we have some kind of problem, and we conduct the research to perform and develop the job that or to improve the job that we call a routine to research. This is here is the R concept from routine work. We observe that our work has a problem even work in the hospital or in the factory or even work in other business area. When we observe that our job have problem, maybe some service had delay or something like that. And after that, we perform the research question to answer and improve our work. What difference between the general research and R2R? Right now, we prefer to use the R concept. The general research includes we observation, and we found that we have the problem, and we set up the research question, and set up the hypothesis to answer the research question. And after that, we collect data, and then after that, we analyze data and we test the hypothesis. This is everyone, I think everyone knows that this is the general research. But for the R2R, we have a little bit different from the general research. We start with the similar to general research that okay, we observe that our job maybe have problem or something like that, and we set up the research question. But we don't no need to test hypothesis. After that, we have research question, and then we collect data and analyze data. After that, the result from R2R, we get the verification to improve our work. This is the difference from the general research. Right now in Thailand, we try to use this concept because we would like to improve, especially in the factory or also in our workplace, and also in the hospital, that we can lean or can improve our work too much. So continue from the human right. So I conducted the research that we call R2R. Our research is the topic return to work model development, that we found that when we contact the worker that maybe this is consistency to the principle number 14 that Dr. Yu said before, because it is the right to access the service. In the past, our worker, when they got injury or harmful from toxic substance, maybe after they admit in the hospital, they go to work. Some worker is ready, some worker are not ready. It is very important to take care or make the worker to access the service for the rehabilitation. And so I developed the project that we found that return to work intervention is the important part of rehabilitation program, which can contribute to a safe work environment, assist with re-employment, help with financial need, and reduce the negative personal, family, and social consequence of being absent from work. Mostly of Thailand is also a chemical manufacturing, or also some process or some plant have to use chemical. So we have the case of like silicosis or trichoethylene toxic poisoning, something like that. And this, when they get back, what the factory or the hospital to take care of them, how. So this is our project. In the past, most physicians only give doctor's certificate to the sick or injured factory employer. There is no system to manage sick or injured employee. So this study, we try to develop the system that to link between the healthcare provider and the factory. And we call this action research, or R2R, aim to develop the return to work management model linking between healthcare provider and workplace. We conduct during 2015 and 16 in 8 hospitals and around 30 factory that include in for linkage between the hospital and factory. we have 3 phases. The phase 1, we perform the analysis of situation of return to work done by healthcare provider, and the second phase we develop the tool and the return to work management model, and phase 3 we conclude that we have like a barrier or many things that we have to improve or not. So the result, the model of return to work management was developed include 2 parts. First part addressed on hospital-based return to work intervention, and the second part we address on workplace-based return to work intervention. So we have like a sub 2 model that include in our study. We found that the component of return to work management model were the criteria for include patient into the program, and the communication between occupational physician and the treating physician. The second is the coordination between healthcare provider and the workplace, and the provision of modified work for sick or injured worker after they get back from hospital. And among 8 hospitals, all of them could perform return to work intervention according to the return to work form and model provision. Anyway, some hospital have to modify the model to suit the context of them. Finally, the role of workplace to implement return to work intervention were figured, and the number of patients include the in our program had increased as well. And also hospital staff and workplace staff were active contribute to all phases of the study, including idea formulation, return to work form formulation, and model development and implementation. We conclude that this program was allowed to hospitals throughout the country right now, based on the context of the hospital and the factory. The outputs of the program were evaluated and they were certified. Labor were obtained health protected, particular, especially for how to access service after they get sick and return to factory, and they have to work in the suitable job, suitable the workstation. That is very important for labor. And I think that it consistency with the principle number 14 that Dr. Yu said before. So I change a little bit for my topic. Thank you.
And I would like to invite Dr. Yu and our 2 panelists to the stage. Yeah, have your seat, please. And I would like to special thanks for all of you for your participation. Especially, we have a friend from union, labor union, because today's forum not only the occupational and health professional, but we also have so many friends from union to support us. Okay, and at first I would like to invite OSHA. Dr. Zhou, could you give us your comment after you hear in so many speech? Yeah, please.
Talk about the chemical management,
No,
chemical management regulations. No. Over here in Taiwan, I think Taiwan OSHA can share our experiences with other member institutes.
Yeah,
Please.
we carry out the GHS regulation and through all the countries, but we'll also get help from association and support from university. So I think it's really good so far. But you will always know that the toxic substance is everywhere, import or we produce. So it's going on work to do. And I would like to ask a question to jump to Dr. Toyosawa. As we know, construction accident rate is #1 in Taiwan, as well as a lot of countries. As Dr. Toyosawa mentioned that 5 meters, the worker, if walk high more than 5 meters, he or she need to wear full harness. How can you design is 5 meters but not 4 meters or 6 meters? Because from my point of view, if the construction worker go into the construction site, it's difficult for her or he to wear too tight of safety equipment. So why is 5 meters? I would like to ask a question. Thank you.
Dr. Toyosawa. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your question. So this is very difficult to answer. It's kind of political reason. So we Japan introduced this regulation with the punishment. So some organization or example the construction company or something register to have this regulation because they wear just body belt, just the body belt. They have the custom to wear the body belt. So they did not want to change the system. They want to continue to use the body belt. So body belt enough, they said. But the political, the reason, and also the safety reason, the harness is better than the body belt, of course. So but the harness, I explained that the harness, the ordinary harness has a shock absorber. Shock absorber expand almost 2 meters. So the lanyard is almost 2 meters. So and the body length is 1 meter. So totally 5 meters. So if the worker fall down from the 5 meter, it's okay, just okay. But worker fall down from the 3 meters, worker crush the ground. That is dangerous. So the government, the regulatory with punishment, this is 5 meter. But the government recommend above 2 meter, they have to wear the harness. So at that case, the worker should hook the higher place to prevent crash to the ground, or something. Countermeasure should be adapted by the companies. It's okay.
Thank you. Next question I would like to open to, well, okay, please.
Stand up. Okay, thank you for opportunity. I have 2 questions to Dr. Orapan and Dr. Shu. The first question to Dr. Orapan about R2R. Like presentation from Mr. Pren about collaborative with a robot. How about R2R with collaborative with robot? Can do? Okay. The second question to Dr. Su, like presentation from US about framework US. There are Mine Safety and Health, OSHA, and NIAS. How about Safety and Health Technology Center at the Ministry of Labor of Taiwan? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. R2R is the concept that we can use for every setting, but for robotic, right? Robotic topic. At firstly, I think we have to conduct the intervention before, and after that we found that we have problem. So if we have problem, how to solve the problem from our work or the job that we are related. That after that after that we collect data with problem and we discuss with our team, and we try to set up the research question, and then we can follow the research concept. Is okay, but the difference from the other research is finally we get the suggestion. That is very important to improve our work, but it's importantly that you have to work before and you found the problem and you get the problem to perform the R2R. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you were asking about the mining industry's occupational health and safety situation here in Taiwan, right? Yeah, but the mining industry. Coal mining became economically infeasible here in Taiwan 20 years ago. Oh no, 30 years ago. So we don't have any active coal mines in Taiwan anymore. We have limited granite mining on the east coast of Taiwan, but very limited. So as far as Taiwan OSHA is concerned, we seldom see any accidents, incidents, or ill health cases at the granite mining facilities. So that's why mining, safety and health has become a tertiary actor here in Taiwan over the past 30 years. Because coal mining 30 years ago was very active. But, because of the limited availability of coal here in Taiwan, so we normally look at 1,500 or 2,000 meter deep coal mines. And that became just totally economically, infeasible. So the coal mining, all those coal mines were closed about 30 years ago. Yeah, so we don't have these issues anymore. I have one question for Oraphan. Do you have a process safety regulation in Thailand, similar to OSHA's process safety management? Would you like to share some information on process safety management of refineries, petrochemical plants, and can you elaborate on that? Because the Taiwan OSHA Act, Occupational Health and Safety Act, rule number 15, is essentially the same as U.S. OSHA's process safety management regulation. What's the situation in Thailand?
Maybe because for refine factory, right? Refine factory is very crowded in some province, yet maybe 3 province that we call Eastern Corridor. Is a special zone right now in Thailand. So the regulation is controlled by Ministry of Industry, and also if for individual worker is a Ministry of Labor that have regulation and also law to control the process.
Yeah, thank you. And next we would like to open for Chinese question. And President Yang, could you please give us your comment? Yeah, 我们请杨理事长哈，这个全国职业工会杨理事长帮我们讲几句话。Sure.
主持人还有各位各国的好朋友们哈，专家们，大家好，还有与会的好朋友，大家好。我是中华民国全国职业总工会理事长。那本身我的业务是 台北市电影戏剧业职业工会的理事长，我比较会有兴趣在拍电影的时候哈，所要搭设的那个舞台的布景，或者是说2楼、3楼以上的那种的场景的这样子的一个工作人员的安全。我刚刚听我们日本的这位所长哈，他有说5公尺，就像刚刚周署长说的5公尺的全身的安全带哦，这样子是我们台湾是没有。可是如果说像2楼以上，超过5公尺以上的这样子的工作人员，他在从事在搭台或者搭建这些布景、制造这个布景的时候呢，他怎么样去预防呢？怎么样去预防他的这个人身的这个治安的安全问题？我觉得这个在台湾好像不容易做到，而且我们也没有这个设备可以来使用哦。那也不知道是怎么样去做更好的预防，而且台湾的这个拍摄电影的这个工商是不会太少，还蛮多数的。我是希望怎么样让我们台湾有更好的这样子的？我知道周署长跟我一样，一直很关心这样子，让我们这个从事影视工作的从业人员能够在安全上有更好的防护，然后也更不要有这样子的工伤意外事件发生。是怎么样能够保障这样子的安全？是不是请各位专家来给我们一点建议哦？谢谢。
Hello, Dr. Tosawa. Can you share us your opinion?
Sorry,
For,
so I
for
missed
movie manufacturing
movie
industry, just like the construction scaffold, because our will avoid from height to down, and you just talk about helmet. So can you share your opinion, please?
Yeah, you talk about the
Mov-
prevention moving.
Movie,
Oh,
filming,
yeah.
filming. Just star, you know,
Star
movie star, yeah,
movie.
movie manufacturing industries. Yeah.
Moving manufacturing.
Yeah.
Most of they have their workers in the moving industry. They are also same regulated, prevented by the government law, the government regulation. So you want to know that the 5 meter is high enough.
Occupation injury rate for the movie worker, movie manufacturing workers. How about their occupational rate? Is it higher than that of other country? Because we believe that in Taiwan, the rate for the movie manufacturing worker has a higher, maybe higher. So I would like to know that in Japan.
I understand. In Japan, sometimes I know some the movie star or the workers concerning to the movies fall down from the stage or the preparation stage. But then same situation. There are the workers. The workers should be prevented by the regulation and guidelines. The employer has the responsibility to protect worker, even if they're movie star. Movie star is just a worker, so they have to make their handrail or structure to prevent a fall down.
Thank you. 因为我们刘所长很支持哈，所以或许我们接下来会开始从事这方面的研究哈。我们再把特别把日本这一块跟国外其他做这个文献探讨部分再整理给杨理事长，好不好？谢谢。杨理事长有没有特别那个 comment？ 还是我们在座的工会的各位理事长朋友没有话，是不是还有我们其他这个我们安全卫生的前辈，陈老师或者叶这个 OK well if there is no further question, okay please last one. Can everybody help?
Oh, hi, I'm students from National Yangming University, and I have a question to the Japanese speaker. Yeah, and you just mentioned that 190 workers died because of the overtime working, and so how do you deal with that question? I mean, because you have some law about like limited working time, but after that there are still some workers died. So, what did you practice or something? Yeah, thanks.
So I thank you very much for your question. So, in Japan, the young woman died by the suicide. So it's a kind of very shocked in Japan. The Japanese the mindset is began with the mindset that we have to we don't have to work longer than usually. So I mentioned about the regulation law, standard law revised in this June. It says just 45 hours overtime in a month. It's a month, 45 overwork. Fundamentally, 40 hours a week is basic, and plus 45 hours per week overtime.
Per week or per month?
Per month.
Per month.
Per month. Overtime month. So I think this is with punishment. If the company did not obey this regulation or law, they have to punishment, and also they have to pay a compensation fee to the workers if she or he died by the overworked. I think it's a very influential. It affects the Japanese society. You understand? The company seriously think about to reduce the overtime in Japan from the standard law revised this year. So I hope the Japanese will be changing. I think it's okay. Okay.
I have one quick one to Frank. Is construction safety a major concern in the United States?
Yes, construction safety is a major concern. It's one of the more hazardous industries we have, and that is one that we've established a construction safety research center specifically funded to look into the problems for construction safety.
Under CDC?
It's a research, it's an organization called CPWR. It's a construction research center. They used to be called something else, they kept the name, but we provide them with funding on a continuing basis to do this research, and they also then pass the funds to other academic researchers. So things like, well, we're concerned with falls from height, and we're concerned with struck by type things, and on the highway construction, zones to protect the workers there, and then we did some research on nail gun safety too, because that was another area that was a major problem. So yes, it's important.
Thank you.
Well, maybe it's time for us to end the forum. So please, I will send back to the floor to the moderator, please.
Once again, please give a big round of applause to our moderator, our keynote speaker, and our two panelists. 那我们在此呢，要特别感谢 Please remain on the stage. We would like to invite Chairperson Liu to present a token of appreciation. 现在呢，我们就有请刘所长上来为我们致赠纪念品给今天的主讲人。And also followed by a group photo. We would like to invite our speakers on the stage later to join a group photo. 主秘也请主秘一起加入这个合照。可不可以站另外一边？谢谢。Please look at the camera in the front. 好，再次以热烈的掌声，谢谢玉董事长 Dr. Toyosawa, Dr. Unimonan 以及何主秘。And this concludes today's morning session。那我们今天早上的会议呢，就到此告一段落。再次感谢所有嘉宾的参与。那希望透过今天非常热烈的讨论，大家能够让台湾以及亚洲的职业安全卫生有进一步的提升。Once again, thank you very much for gracing us with your presence, and we hope that we can further advance the occupational safety and health. 接下来呢是我们的午餐时间 and our distinguished guests from abroad, please follow our staff back to the venue. We're going back to where we used to be in the first 2 days for lunch.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final session of our 3-day conference. And now we are moving on to meeting 3, and we would like to welcome Chairperson of OSHRI, Dr. Gan, as well as Elosh, to moderate this session. So round of applause, Dr. Gan and our Vice Chairperson.
Hi, everybody. We're now day 3, meeting 3. I think we should give ourselves a round of applause for me. Okay, and I think Dr. Chung Yi, you have got something? You want to use?
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. After this morning's forum, are you tired now? But I think we now is the closing meeting actually. Yeah. So after 2 hours, then maybe we will finish or we will close this year's OSHRI meeting. Yeah, and we are so happy that you attend the forum and you attend the meeting and stay here with us until the last meeting. Yeah, and before we start the meeting 3, the closing meeting, we prepare a video. It's about 5 minutes. We hope you enjoy it. you like it? Yeah? Okay, you can download it. Okay, you can download a video. And I promise that tomorrow you can get the whole, 3 days meetings video tomorrow. Okay? We will put it on. Okay, this, you copy it? You will already photo it, right? Okay, so by tomorrow, you will get the whole picture. Okay? All right. Okay, thank you. So now it's a...
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, impressive. And now I don't feel so bad, about arriving late, because I know you have been well entertained. Okay, great. All right, so shall we start our third meeting? Well, we have a few items that we want to go through. I think the first would be on the website. The second would be on the MOU. And then the third, of course, would be the next chair. Yeah, and then the next meeting. Okay. So any other things that we need to discuss? I think we still have one more outstanding area, and that is looking for the lead for the IR4 project. Yeah. So Malaysia wants to be the number 2, right? Huh, Haji? Yeah. So we need to look for number 1. So who wants any volunteers to be number 1 for the IR 4.0 project? Any volunteers? Any country? Japan also said they don't mind being number 2, right? So between the 2 number 2s, do you want to promote one of you to be number 1? Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Thank you very much, Okay. Any other things that's outstanding from our previous meetings? Can you all recall? That's about it, right? Yeah, okay. Then, okay. Now we go to the website. Website, yeah, because Korea mentioned about the OSHRI wiki, okay? So can that also be, in a way, our website as well? Yeah, okay. So, Dr. Park, do you have something that you want some idea that you have, So is it that OSHRI would be OSHRI Korea is keen to take on this project of the AOSHRI website? Yeah, maybe. Are you okay with that means managing that project of the OSHRI website and wiki?
Actually, we will. This is the start, just the start time. So we will discuss about how to organize the OSHRI wiki, and then we will construct some content in OSHRI Korea, and then we will formally propose how to update and how to edit, how to collaborate, how to collect all the data from the ASEAN countries. Yes, that's now it's just basic stages. So.
We look forward to receiving your proposal. Okay, great, thank you. Any other comments about the website, on the wiki and all that? Anything? Taiwan? Japan? Indonesia? Anything that you want to say about this idea of the website, of an OSHRI website, and then and also the wiki, this idea of wiki? Because for ASEAN OSHNet, there's also a web page, right, on research, is it? Is there a web page on research? Is there a web page on research? Maybe you could just link or something.
Every ASEAN member state, I think.
Oh, has their own.
Specific on research. But ASEAN on OSHNet, the program area coordinator for a website is from Thailand. So everything's information related to the activity of ASEAN OSHNet put into our ASEAN OSHNet website.
So is there
Just a little bit, yeah.
But I suppose if you think that the eventually, when we do have an OSHRI website, yeah, and you think that it is good to link, you know, that you could also consider that, yeah. Okay. So, Orapon, your country is managing the website for ASEAN OSHNET.
Yes, but it's Ministry of Labor.
Oh, different
Yeah,
ministry, okay.
yeah. That is conducted the Asian OSHNET. Maybe it's the secretary, right? Because, but I agree that for OSHI, if we have website to exchange or to propose some interesting knowledge or our job, it would be okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you. Okay. So next will be on the MOU. Okay. Now, in the previous meetings, we've been thinking about having this MOU. Okay, because the whole idea is we want to make it more formal, this particular arrangement. And I think for all the participating economies, you know, we need a little bit of formality in order to justify even our trip for the meetings, you see, yeah, and for the work that we're doing. So the intention was to have this MOU. We have, it's still in draft stage, right? Still draft stage, okay? And then it's, well, the countries inside there, I think it's for each and every one of us to go back and get the approvals from all the relevant authorities as to whether we want to sign the MOU. But a thought did cross my mind that we may have a situation where for OSHRI, you may have MOU members and you may also have non-MOU members. You know, that is, I think, a possibility because some countries may not be comfortable, may not be ready to sign the MOU, so they could be like the non-MOU partners, right? And then, of course, those who are ready and they will be signing, and then they'll be MOU partners. And so that's why, if you look at the document, we are thinking there is also this section where you talk about admission of new members. So that there needs to be a process. So once we sign the MOU, it's in a way the Secretariat, I feel, will have to have a very good governance process. Okay, governance in terms of identifying what kind of projects you want to collaborate on, how to admit the new members, what's the criteria, and all that kind of thing. So I think that might need to be formalized. Okay, so that would of course be the role of the Secretariat. Yeah, so if you perhaps we go through page by page first, just to gather some comments about the document. Okay, so we can just scroll down. Under the objectives here, I think we are just articulating the OSHRI objectives here. All right. Next, under the functions of the Secretariat, Article 3, you'll have your own hard copy or not? Do you have your own hard copy? No? Okay, soft copy only, yeah? Okay. All right. So this is Article 1 on the objective. So this is the same as what we've been talking about, you know, for the past 14 years. Okay. Then down, next one. Okay, so under membership, so if we are talking about members of the OSHRI shall be Asian OSH research institutions, okay, all right, and establishment of the OSHRI Secretariat, Article 3, okay, so here we talked about an appointment for a period of 3 years with the option for renewal for 2 additional years, okay, and under functions of the Secretariat, I'm proposing that an additional function, and that is to develop the governance processes, yeah, for OSHRI. Because, like I mentioned earlier, you know, even admission of a new member and all that, I think there needs to be some governance process, okay? And then, other than these 5 that we have articulated earlier, any comments on that? You all think that is reasonable? That we should have some governance inside there, some mention of this governance thing. and that's the secretariat. So currently, well, if you go further down, yeah, okay, so the OSHRI secretariat shall be headed by the chairperson, who will be assisted by a secretary. So I'm currently now the chairperson, and then Sri Lanka, Dr. Champi is the secretary, yeah, of OSHRI. So that's how it's worded. So you think this is reasonable, is okay, this wording? So, which means that whoever is going to take up this role of the chairperson and the secretary, if we are going to have this governance process, so they will draft some governance, some processes, and then after that, get your approval. Again, there needs to be a process for that. To how we're going to get your support and say that yes, we agree to that. Yeah. So, any comments here about the role of the secretariat? You think it's anything else that we need to add in?
Tegan?
Yeah, sorry, where are you? Oh, okay.
I want to ask about the membership. Is it OSHRI is open for all the ASEAN country in Asia continental, or the mentioning countries on the top of this document?
It's actually open to all. Open to all. It's just that at the beginning, that one, that list will have to be amended, okay? Because not all countries, it will be at this point in time when we first sign the MOU, these will be the countries that will be in this list, But some countries may not be ready for it. They may not want to participate. So whoever is ready and wants to sign the MOU, then you are like, in a way, the founding member. Would that be okay?
So all the countries are welcome to join?
Yeah, all are welcome to join. So I think we are missing some very big countries as well, like India, yeah, all that, okay? Because Asia is very huge, So we want to open to all Asian countries, right? Is that the understanding? Japan, when you started ASEAN OSHRI, that was the intention, right? For all of Asia, right? Okay. Right. So this list, I think, needs to be amended, depending on which country is ready to sign. So eventually, I don't know how many countries will actually have their names there as the founding member, Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. All right. I'm not very familiar with the POSHO, but for OSHRI, I mean, from what we say about the objectives of OSHRI, is very research focused.
Yeah, I never run through the MOU of the OSHRI. I believe POSHO also do not have a MOU like what we want to do.
Oh, don't have.
Yeah, that's why we suggest only the members of, for example, NIOSH. From Malaysia, we have 3 organizations who are in that APOSHO plus something else, which will be held in Hong Kong, I think early of December. So we want to see that our organization here probably should be different with that APOSHO member. But I believe APOSHO being
NGO, right?
Yeah, more to association and also NGO. Here for OSHRI, we don't spell out either it is association, either it is a union, either it is a country representative, government-related department, or so on and so forth. So probably that's the continuation of how we want to identify our members as the identification of OSHRI's member. Or maybe if it is good to be open, anybody can join. Maybe it's do not need to write anything on that MOU. So probably any other member know about that APOSHO.
The arrangements.
Yeah, membership, for example.
So I think Haji Esa is saying that, instead of having a formal MOU, whether it could be a different kind of arrangement, something similar to a POSHO, just membership. But I'm not sure for membership whether it's like you need to be registered as a society or registered as a NGO or whatever, and then you become a member of that organization. And with that, again, I'm not sure whether APOSHO actually has a team, that manages its affairs, its governance and all that, and whether they collect membership fees and all that, So, yeah, that is again another model, So I suppose it's open for discussion. It's not that we die must have an MOU, but it was the thought was we wanted to in a way formalize it a little bit, and then so that it gets greater recognition by the different governments, and also better support for the work that we are doing. Yeah, so that was the intent, right? Yeah. So, but in what form should it be? Should it be like a society, or should it be through just an MOU, or just or some other arrangements? Have you any similar kind of setup that you have met up that you know of?
No, not really.
No,
Yeah.
Okay. We were actually
We have MOUs with
a lot of bilateral, correct.
ones that incorporate.
Mm.
More difficult to get a whole agreement.
Yeah, that's right. So actually here we were following the ASEAN OSHNET model, and they have an MOU with all the different countries, yeah? But I think for the ASEAN OSHNET, it's mainly the enforcement bodies, yeah? So whereas here it's more the research institutes, yeah? Okay, so the intent is slightly different. So in terms of the wording and all that, we copy lah, yeah? A lot from the ASEAN OSHNET MOU document, okay? You just tick here and there, that kind. Yeah, so so that was the intent, yeah. So, okay.
We have already that sentence as our identification, Occupational Safety and Health Research Institutes.
Yeah.
So whoever got function to do that research, or probably their major roles in their country as the research institute, they can be member of our.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Can. So, but maybe Article 1, should we also clarify it? Article 1. Let me go down again. 2. Okay. 2 under members. Okay. Research institutions there again. So, you think it is clear enough? It's under OSH research institutions, yeah? So if you're not, yes?
Since you asked me to answer, I wonder if you mean the country's research institution, and not necessarily maybe, I don't know if there are university research institutions within Asia that might be saying, well, we want to apply for membership under Article 2. So I don't know if you wanted to say it's country level membership.
Okay, yeah. So that question, and
I'm not saying that you may want to.
Yeah,
do
correct.
That, but that's
whether our intention is to have it at country level, kind of. That means you represent the country, as a research institute for that country. Okay, just to add on from there, because I've been trying to sell OSHRI to a lot of people, okay? And then, last year you all met Dr. Jason Lee, okay? He's on heat stress and all that. Yeah, he's done a lot of work. So he is very keen to help us, and even keen to be a member, all right, of OSHRI. But he is head of a department like that within the University of Singapore. So I asked him, I said, is it that the National University of Singapore wants to be an OSHRI member, or is it just your department, and you being the head of that department, you are representing that department. So he says it will be at departmental level and not actually at the university level. So I think moving forward, there is interest, even amongst the academic group, to want to join us. And I think it's for us to decide whether we see value in it or not, whether we should include them, be more inclusive, or do we want to just have one to represent the economy, that one, So maybe just hear from everybody. Yeah, we start from, hear your views. What do you think should it be like a country level, or even at institutions level, that kind? Because you talk about research institutions, there's so many. Even in Singapore, I think don't know how many pages long. That kind. Yeah. So, yeah. So what is your opinion about it? Do we want to expand? That means next time you'll be like 100 people attending our meeting instead of just 20, you know? Yeah. And do you think it will be richer, you know, in terms of the quality of the work, the quality of the discussions and all that, you know, or whether it will actually will hamper, you know, or yeah.
Because I think maybe it's a country level, because it after one is still in each country join, and if they have the project or have to collaborate within country, maybe otherwise it's many like university or many things that include and maybe it's difficult to organize the work. I think, yeah, maybe it should one country, one representative. But maybe after that they can collaborate within. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Thailand feels that it should be one country, one institute. Okay. Yeah.
He supports that one country, one representative.
One institute, okay. Somebody taking notes? Okay, thank you. Can you please do the count for me? Malaysia? Whether it is you for the membership, whether you want to restrict it to just one research institute to represent all the OSH research in the country, or you want all the OSH research institutions in Malaysia to be part of OSHRI. That means it can be like 10 research institutes, you know.
I think for Malaysia, we also agree one.
One, huh?
Yeah, one for representing one country.
Okay.
Because in Malaysia, we for other institutions, probably there are other different ministries. Quite difficult for us to, you know, like those totally academician is quite different from the practitioner. That's like NIOSH Malaysia representing. So we agree one country, one vote.
Okay, all right. So we just need one more country to support that. Then we will have majority.
I think the OSHRI, similar to the PEROSH. PEROSH is European countries the meeting for the institute, research institute, safety and health. So the PEROSH is one country, almost one principle. In principle, yeah. One institution.
Yes.
So,
I
think it's
okay. So, are you familiar with PEROSH? No, not familiar with PEROSH. Okay, PEROSH is the European equivalent. So again, we were copying also. Okay, copy also. Okay, but PEROSH is slightly different. PEROSH, you actually have to pay to be a member. Okay, and they have a secretariat. So because they have money, okay, so they will appoint a formal secretariat. So that person is the secretary of PEROSH. Yeah. So, but we are not paying. So here we are FOC, FOC voluntary and all that. So, but in terms of the idea, the concept, all that is fairly similar. So, like in PEROSH, they have they call it. They are very proud of their PEROSH projects, you know, and it is multi-center kind of studies. And when we visited, that time was. Which country? France. You know, they were actually the equipment. You know, even down to the equipment that they are using, they were actually transporting it to another laboratory. Yeah, and using the same equipment, but testing on other workplaces and all that, so that they can actually standardize the results and everything. You know, because the same equipment, you know, that goes over, and that's how they do their work. So it's multi-center kind of studies. Yeah. Okay, so we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay, that's it. So all agree it should be just one country, one institute per country, right? So we need to write that down, yeah? Okay. Next, under the secretariat. Right, so under secretariat, so we are okay with this governance thing, Yeah, so which means that the secretary for this particular, for our OSHRI, no pay lah, huh? But got to do work lah. All right, but it is a one-time thing. It is, you know, once you set up the process, you know, like in any department that you are the head of department, you also have to come up with a governance process. You know, I think it is at least there's clarity. Yeah, everybody knows exactly what to do. So maybe here we will add in the governance part. Huh? Any objections to that? Whoever is going to be the next secretary, you want to object? Our current secretary cannot object because he's not here. Okay. But the next secretary can object. Okay, Ken, go down. Other qualifications and term of the chairperson. Yeah, so this was based on our decision last time. We were saying that, you know, term of 3 years with the option for renewal of 2 additional years, right? So that when I was nominated to be the chairperson, that was in 2015. So 2018 is just right, just 3 years, right? So it's time for me to step down. So we'll be discussing about who is going to be the next chairperson later on. Yeah, okay. But other than this, do you want to mention anything about qualifications? Because here is just a qualified person. Yeah. Do we need to elaborate on that? Because it's going to be all the research institutes anyway. Yeah. We may not. I think okay lah. Huh? Huh? All right. Or do you want to elaborate? You got no comment? Okay, nothing to add? Okay. Please feel free to edit our document. Yeah. Yes, please. Okay, next. Functions of the chairperson. Yeah, shall perform the following functions: administer and manage the OSHRI Secretariat. And then after that, now here, I thought it was a little bit of a repetitious, because it was already listed under the functions of the Secretariat, you see. Here, they mention about coordinate and monitor the programs, projects, and activities of OSHRI carried out by the participating OSH research institutes. Because that is also mentioned under functions of the Secretariat, you see. Yeah, under coordinate the organizing of, let me see, yeah, oversee OSHRI programs, projects, and activities, you know. So I'm suggesting that maybe if it is already mentioned under functions of Secretariat, because anyway the chairperson is going to be the head of the Secretariat, all right, whether we need to mention again all these things. Yeah, this is like a repeat. Yeah, because if you just have administered and managed the OSHRI Secretariat, that would be, you know, everything encompassing already lah. That's all. And also this part here about whether the chairperson is the one that's supposed to update on the progress of the collaboration programs, projects, and activities during the OSHRI meeting, or whether it should be the project leader, you know, who should be updating on these programs and projects. Yeah, so may not be that appropriate to put it here, right? Unless you really want the chairperson to update for all your projects, you know, or should be the, because you know what, because the way we had written it, we say that Secretariat is headed by the chairperson. Yeah. So do you want that statement, or should we be very clear? Secretariat and then chairperson, different, you know, not to confuse it. Yeah. But that's how it's written in the ASEAN MOU, right? Is it? Secretariat headed by the chairperson. Huh?
In terms of ASEAN members, OSHNET, as far as I know that the Secretariat, there are 2 Secretariat. The first thing is ASEC, ASEAN Secretariat. This is based on in Jakarta at the moment, at the office. But there are ASEAN OSHNET Secretariat. This is turnover every year. Oh. If a country to be host, so the next chairperson and ASEAN OSHNET Secretariat will taken by host and country before. Do you understand what I mean?
The previous one.
Yeah, the previous, I mean, yeah.
Will be the...
For example, is today, this year is Taiwan. So Taiwan to be chairperson and Sri Lanka as secretariat.
Oh, because they hosted the previous one.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the arrangement before for OSHRI, where you have the chair is the country that is hosting. You know, like now, like Taiwan is the chair, and then at the time, I think no secretariat. I mean, it's like just Taiwan only, like that's it, like, you know, the secretariat there, that's it. Yeah, but and that's why. Oh, sorry, Dr. Lee. Yes.
May I? So I agree with Indonesia, the mentioning about the ASEAN OceanNet, and KOSHA is attending as a plus three countries, China, Japan, and
three,
Korea.
Yeah. Plus three. Yeah, plus three.
And in the ASEAN system, the hosting countries are changing annually. The secretariat goes a three-year term. Is that right? Well, that's sorry. That's how I am understanding. But what I want to say here is, because KOSHA is a member of the APOSHO, and also the attending for the ASEAN OceanNet, and with this experience, the secretariat and the chairperson should go together. That's what I am thinking from my experience. Otherwise, it's not easy to connect or make some organizing well. So if for this OSHRI meeting, the next hosting country should have the secretariat for preparing all the schedule and the program, and also the chairperson should be on that from that organization. That's how I'm thinking.
Okay, so you're proposing that the next organizer would be the chair as well as the secretariat during this period from today until the next meeting. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, let me say one. So APOSHO actually has the people from now on people. So APOSHO has like the same system as the next hosting country has the chairperson and secretariat, but it has more than 25 years already. So now they're trying to make a permanent secretariat. So that's different, but as a beginning of the OSHRI meeting and for the MOU or some kind of constitutions for our organization, maybe the chairperson and the secretary should go first, and maybe later if we have the more stabilized position or situation, then we can have some kind of permanent secretariat at the time.
I support your proposal for the chairperson and the secretary to be from the same country. You know, I think it's much easier to work, right? Much easier to organize. Yeah. So and whether now, so in a way we are reverting back to the old system. Yeah, to the old system, you know, that time in Malaysia time, you know, when you organized it, you were the chairperson as well as the secretariat. So that was the old system. Oh, the other one, okay. All right. And we changed it only in Singapore to the new system, okay. So now we are proposing to go back to the old system, right? Yeah, that means the next country that's going to organize it will chair as well as be the secretariat. So here we mentioned about 2 years, every 2 years, but whether it's too fixed or not, because you sometimes because of issues, you know, it could be 2 to 3 years or something like that. Yeah.
So if 2 years or 2 plus 1 years, I think the idea of giving the secretary and chairperson from the same country is quite okay. But every year, you know, we have to see the continuation of the progress of our discussion. So I was thinking of actually we are talking about the chairman and secretariat of OSHRI. And another one is actually the organizing
Progress update meetings.
parties who want to organize that OSHRI. So,
sorry, yes. I didn't quite catch that part.
okay. I think this one we spell out about the chairperson and also secretariat of our
OSHRI.
OSHRI.
Yes.
Another one is we are actually talking about the
next meeting.
The what we call it, committee who want to organize that OSHRI meeting.
The organizing committee.
Yeah, organizing committee. So
Okay.
that's probably a different function. That's why we want to see the continuation. We are putting that 3+2 because of that continuation. Last time we discussed at Singapore.
The organizing committee you're talking about, okay? So I suppose if the let's say Malaysia is going to be the next organizer, right? So you'll be the chair plus the secretariat, and you will be working with your own team to form a organizing committee, right? Yeah. So that would be neater, right? Everything is all packed in your country, isn't it? Is that how you see it?
APOSHO chairperson is the same person doing in India, Singapore, and also in Hong Kong, is it?
Annually changing. Okay. So the secretary is the one that makes sure that everything is followed properly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, well, I suppose there are pros and cons. Yeah, for both systems. But maybe Jae-Won, you could tell us your opinion, because you have been in both systems. Both the APOSHO system as well as the yeah.
Okay. If we have a strong leadership in our research organization now, it will be good for having some kind of organizing committee and permanent secretary for that. But I don't think so. We yet have built that kind of strong leadership within our groups. So maybe go first the chairman and secretariat by the hosting organization, and move on it. And in a certain time, we can have the more strong leadership. And I think that we are all the research institution, and we have the same goal, common goal for all improvement and support national policy and government. So if we do it over and over, probably we can get a more strong foundation, and we get the more support from the government or ASEAN or OSHNET. Also, there's the kind of governmental body. In that case, we can have the more strong leadership and secretariat. And actually, for that, we need a kind of budget and some fund for operating the permanent secretariat. But we just charity, or all the expenses are coming from the hosting organization. It doesn't mean for the kind of learning the permanent secretariat.
Okay, correct. So I just need another 2 more, then we can then it's supported. So who else wants to comment on this? Whether we should actually have this new arrangement where the chairperson and the secretariat together with the organizing committee will be from one country, okay? So maybe just comments from, who wants to make, okay, Korea has already said something. Japan want to say something? Yeah.
Okay, I understand that Malaysia will be the chairperson and the secretary in 2 years. It's okay, I understand. I think all members of the AWISH support Malaysia, so it's okay.
Are you changing your mind?
I think we not come yet to that.
Yeah, we haven't
that
come yet.
topics. Yeah.
He's trying to fix you up.
We agree with Malaysia will be the next chairperson and also the secretariat.
Oh, no, we haven't come to that yet.
I mean,
The next
that
one.
it means, for example. I mean, for example.
For example.
Yeah, for
okay.
example,
Okay, you
yes,
say it's
we
still
agree
saved.
that.
Okay. So it's like all in one, you know, that kind, yeah. All right, okay. Okay, Korea, Indonesia. Oh, Hidayat, yeah, want to say something?
Yeah, I think same like Japan. I support to Malaysia like
Okay,
that.
support
Yeah,
Malaysia.
yeah,
Wow.
Okay.
No, Malaysia's proposal.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, all right, Ken. So that means go. So that means we will change our format of the chairmanship format. So the next organizer, okay, will then take the role of the chairperson, as well as the secretariat, as well as the organizing committee. Okay, that means the next. So now, which means that we will need to do a little bit of edits for this document. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Dr. Gan,
Yes,
may
yes.
I add something?
Oh yeah, sure.
In order to secure the Auxiliary collaboration, 7 countries attend this meeting today should be promoted as permanent member. One in the document for the suggestion. And the second one is, can we appoint the vice secretary and the vice chairperson for the next after Malaysia? Yeah. In order to be ready. So we don't need to appoint chairperson every meeting.
Okay.
So the vice will be automatically be the host for the next Auxiliary meeting. That's for my suggestion.
Oh, so which means today we have to identify 2 hosts, right?
From the among the permanent members.
Amongst the permanent members, huh? Okay. And then, all right. Okay, Ken. So any objections to this proposal? That means today we will identify 2 hosts. One is the next one for the 8th one, and after that for the 9th one. All right? All good with that? All good? All good with that? Malaysia? Okay? Hey, from your...
Okay. We actually send email to the members talking about the potential of Malaysia become the host for the next year of Auxiliary. But I think Singapore starting the practice of doing the meeting progress in between biannual of our formal meeting. So what actually we propose first for the next year on the, what is the date, Eden? I think August something, August next year, is actually the meeting progress of what we plan here in Taiwan. For example, a few projects, collaboration research project that we decide here to be followed on the next year. And then I think 2020 will be the formal meeting of Auxiliary. So that's the message that our DG informed us to take that progress meeting next year in Malaysia. And I believe on 2020 still not yet being decided either who or not. But anyway, if you agree to meet again another 2 years, 2020, actually 2020, NIOSH will organize Apo Show, yeah, in Malaysia. So there will be another big event for NIOSH Malaysia together with the Ministry of Human Resource. So well, we should do some decision on how the next program is actually. Either it is a progress meeting for next year, or we want to meet it again by 2020, 2 years after this year, or any other opinion about that.
I think it's for you to tell us whether you want to organize the 8th OSHRI meeting in Malaysia in 2020? Are you thinking of it doing it back to back with APOSHO, or is it that you want to avoid 2020 because of APOSHO? You don't want to suffer from karoshi, right? Yeah.
I also thinking of 2020. Japan will organize Olympics, is it?
Yeah.
So you will be very will be excluded from that 2020.
Yeah.
The agreement that we bring from our organization is actually to organize progress meeting next year in Kuala Lumpur, and if members suggest for us to change from 2019 to 2020, we have to bring back to our management to decide, and then we propose back to the committee.
Okay, all right. So 2019 is confirmed in a way, you know? Yes, it's confirmed. His DG has already given the okay, but it would be a progress update meeting like what we had in Singapore. It was just like a one-day, half-day kind of thing, just to update on all the projects. And we thought it was useful because it gave us, all of us were looking, face-to-face, we could discuss and come up with, make certain decisions to move the project forward. Yeah?
So we will do a back-to-back program with our biggest conference of OSH in Malaysia.
Yes.
So every OSHRI member will be invited freely enter our conference, 2 days conference, and then we followed by that progress meeting. So you will be spending 3 days in Malaysia for that altogether those programs. So that's what we already agree. Our management agreed to to invite the members of OSHRI coming to Malaysia next year.
Has any one of you attended this OSH meeting that Malaysia organizes every year? Has any one of you attended before? No? Oh, you should attend because it is actually very good, very impressive. Yeah.
Dr. Gan is our prominent speaker, invited from Singapore.
Only 2 years now. And it is very, very impressive. It's really huge. About 6,000 now, 6,000 participants and a huge exhibition. Yeah, so it is it's bigger than the World Congress. Okay, so that's 2019 for the progress meeting. So which means that we have to still talk about the 8th meeting and the 9th meeting. All right, Ken. So we go back to our MOU here. Okay, maybe go down. Overhaul of our MOU document now. Okay. Not have any more comments, for the rest of the document. It's just that I think for the Secretariat, I'm just going back to the governance process now. So I was just identifying from the various articles that follows, every one of them we need to have some processes in place. That's all. Yeah. So if I think we need to do a little bit of overhaul, for at least for Article 3, and then subsequently, then we can send it around, and the next chair will take it on to move it forward, maybe. Yeah. Is that agreeable with everyone? Okay. All right. So if you look at this one, even the identifying of the key priority areas and all that, again, you need a process. And the process could be like what we did, during the meeting yesterday. Yeah, just voting and all that. But that is still a process, All right. In case somebody complains as to why this particular project was selected and not their project and all that. Yeah, it's just to create some clarity. Yeah, that's all. So all good with this MOU document? Huh? Okay, so I'll make the edits and I'll pass it on to the next secretary, the next chairperson. Okay, Ken. All right, next thing would be our next chair. Our next chairperson, that means the next country that's going to organize the 8th meeting. Yeah, so I think Korea, if you have some interest. To the park, where are they? Oh, okay. Yeah.
We will propose 2020 APOSO meeting. We want host formally 2020 APOSO AOSHRI meeting. Yeah. AOSHRI meeting. Okay. And chairperson, we will choose in the OSHRI of Kusha. Chairperson, we will choose in the OSHRI of Kusha. Okay? Yeah.
Settled our 8th meeting, and which means I will send you the MOU for further development. Okay, that's great. But we have not finished. Who wants to organize the 9th meeting in 2022?
Please check to calendar 2020. Actually, 2020 October 16, from 16 to October 20, there are International Occupational Hygiene Association meeting conference in Korea. Yes, so we will organize AOSHRI meeting during the time. Okay? Yes.
October 20th to 21st, is it? 20th to 20 what? 20th to
2020.
October 16th.
October 16.
October 16.
16 to 20.
20, right?
20. AIHA. Okay, right. So, and that is another very good meeting. Okay, all right. So it'll be very good if we can do it like back to back, which means that you may have to shorten your OSHRI meeting. Yeah, otherwise it's very, very long. Okay. So now we need to look for the chair for the 9th meeting. Okay. Anyone who has never hosted before? Thailand? You decide. After 2020. Not 2022. So, okay, Thailand. Any objections to Thailand?
Like make decision is possible to be the host, but right now I cannot answer.
I know.
Yeah,
we understand. Yeah, we understand. Yeah. Okay. So normally you notice that Orapon, since all of us are around, we can help you when you have any conference back to back. That we can always say something. Yeah. Okay. And then, all right. We don't have anything else to talk about anymore. 2022 is Thailand. Right. I think we're done with our meeting. Any other matters? Anybody has anything else to add? Yeah. How about Malaysia? Oh, 2019 for the progress update meeting. Are formalized.
Are formalized, and it's quite easy for us to, to ask for any fund for whatever from the related government. So I'm proposing if the it can be finished before we organize next year. That ceremony can be done in Malaysia to sign in that MOU.
You mean before the progress update meeting?
During that progress update meeting,
update
so
meeting?
we can sign MOU, or either if it is quite lengthy to be discussed, probably the late one is by 2020. Yeah.
I will leave that to the next chair. Okay. Maybe I will now pass the mic to the next chair. Okay. He represents take the chair? Sorry.
It's okay. Please finish this meeting first.
I finished the meeting. Meeting finished. Okay. Any other matters? Like I mentioned earlier about this, Jason. I must communicate this. Okay. He is very. He wants to help. Any country. If there's any project that you want to do in relation to heat stress. Okay, so what I'll do is to send you his email, and then you can connect directly with him. Okay, so that's something if you want to do. Okay, Jimon?
All right, thank you very much. I would like to mention one thing. First, thank you very much for hosting all these meetings from the Taiwan, the Institute for Labor and Occupant Safety and Health. And it's really well organized and too much entertained, too much treated actually in this case. So my point is for hosting next meeting and for the after next meeting, probably we need to think about the expenses for hosting like this. So we just come here with no payment like a participation or any attendance fee, just for our travel expenses. But I think for our future organization or hosting things, may we need some kind of registration fee or participation fee for at least kind of meals. That's my concern, and I would like to propose for a consideration of all members.
I see another way. If we have every country a chance to host the meeting, so in a way you will have your chance to pay for the meeting. Okay, so that's how I see it. But of course that is another idea where you have registration fee and then you pay for it. Yeah, so for discussion.
Well, actually, Dr. Gan, I agree with you. It's kind of sharing every time, but this time the Taiwanese do too much. That's why we are just worrying about a little bit.
Right. We agree completely. Yeah, that's right. And but I think it's for the country to decide. I mean, Taiwan has set a very high benchmark. But I think it is for all of us to moderate it. Based on your situation. And then so I think that the choice is completely ours. Yeah. So no pressure. Yeah, we're not asking to go to Istana. Yeah, but for Korea, you think you want to have a registration fee or something like that, or the next meeting? No, not just for future. Eventually, maybe like Parosh, if you want, where you actually create, you have a membership. But well, for Parosh, we do see that some members have left, from Parosh because of this membership fee. Yeah. Because they find that it's a bit very heavy to continue, right? And here, I think we want to be inclusive. We want to, have as many on board as possible. Yeah. Okay. So, right. Any other things that we want to discuss? Anybody brought any questions or anything that you want answered, or we can do it all via email. But most important, Dr. Pan, you have everyone's email, right? Yes? Okay, everybody's email. So okay, that's good. At least you have able to contact everybody. Okay. 没有20个 They may have run out of name cards. Okay, you have all? Ms. Wu, you have all? Okay, great. Okay, can. Because it is important for you to pass to the next host. all this information so that they can send out the invitations. Yeah, and it's not just the 7 of countries here, but I think we should extend to as many countries as we have in Asia. And I think that time Malaysia did a very good job in collating that list, and we had actually, Singapore had actually used that to send out. Yeah, okay, Ken. All right, so next chair. Next chair, who? Who wants to take the... Jimon? Jimon, you want to say something? Next chair?
Okay, next time you come to Seoul, I will invite you to Gangnam. And you can see whole Gangnam style and dance together there maybe. All right, actually, yeah, so the Director Park made a big decision for hosting next a conference in Korea, and which is good news to me and everybody. I'm hoping the NIOSH, the Mr. Frank will be there also. And thank you very much for giving me this chance and having this opportunity in beautiful city, beautiful country in Taiwan. And I really appreciate and give my heartfelt thankful to organizer, all of my Irish members and family, and all our other OSHRI members, the Asia Occupational Safety and Health Research Institute. Now we have the 7th and gonna have another one in Korea in 8th. So thank you very much, and let's go forward for our mission for safer and healthy world until we meet in Seoul again. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I want to thank all of you, during these past 3 years for your support. Yeah, and I want to thank again Taiwan for organizing this particular meeting, and Sri Lanka, who's not here, for organizing the previous one. I think we have built up a very nice camaraderie. I mean, Indonesia is attending for the first time. I hope it was a good experience, and you will want to continue to attend the next and the subsequent ones, yeah. And and I hope that this spirit will continue, and it will AOSHRI will become stronger and stronger with each chairmanship and with each meeting as you move forward. Thank you again. Right, thanks.
Thank you very much. And now, last but not least, we would like to move on to our final program. That is, in order to show our appreciation to all of the participants, Elash has prepared some special souvenirs for each and every one of you. So we would like to invite Chairperson Leo to come forward. And when I call your name, please come forward, and Chairperson Leo would like to present the token of appreciation. So first of all, please welcome our Chairperson of OSHRI, Dr. Gan. Please come forward. And Chairperson Leo, please come forward to present the souvenirs. And we would like to make a small introduction. You can see on the first day of your arrival, we have invited the Puyuma dancers from the Taiwanese indigenous tribes, and they have made a special wreaths, which you have put on for the photo shoot. So this wreath hopefully will bring you good luck and prosperity. And also the special souvenirs are the mugs with the OSHRI logos. So Chairperson Leo, please. So we have, these are the samples. So we have the mugs, and we have the wreaths. Thank you. And next, please welcome, thank you, Mr. Yasuo Toyosawa, Director General of the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health of Japan. Thank you. And next, please welcome Katsutoshi Odo. And next, please welcome Yuta Endo. Mr. Endo, please stand by the side. Thank you. Thank you. And next, thank you, Mr. Yuta Endo. And after Mr. Endo, we would like to welcome Senior Manager Mohammed Esa Baruji from Malaysia. Thank you. Next, please. And after that, we would like to invite Mr. Amiruddin Abdul Aziz. So, Mr. Okay, and next, can we have Mr. Mohammed Siaidan Abdullah? And after that, we would like to invite Mr. Kwon Seop Lee from Korea. Thank you. And next, Mr. Kwon Seop Lee. And after Mr. Lee, we would like to invite Mr. Seong Hyun Park. Thank you. And after that, we would like to invite Mr. Dong Seok Seo. Thank you. And after that, we would like to welcome Jae Wong Lee. And after that, we would like to welcome Ms. Orapan Untimonon. And after that, we would like to welcome Mr. Iyus Hidayat. Also, there is a little ceremony for the exchange of presents. Thank you. That is really sweet. Thank you so much. And after that, we would like to welcome Mohammed Idham. And next, we would like to welcome our guests from Indonesia, please. So one by one, thank you. So after Mr. Idham, and next, can we have Mr. Sukaniani Muhammad Madmuni, please? And after that, can we have Mr. Muhammad Jabir? Thank you. And Mr. Jabir, we would like to invite Mr. Agus Triono. After that, we would like to invite Mr. Nurhani Muchtar. And also Mr. Niken Diana Hapsari. Sorry, Miss. So next, Miss Muchtar. And next, Miss Nikan Diana Hapsari. So thank you very much. Once again, a big round of applause. Thank you. So have you all received the presents? Once again, thank you very much. So we hope that you have thoroughly enjoyed your stay in Taiwan. And once again, we would like to express our sincere and heartfelt appreciation to all of you. Thank you so much for your participation. And we believe that through this platform, we can work together to And now we would like to invite, before we close, we would like to invite the different delegations to come forward for a group photo with our host. So we would like to invite our chairperson and vice chairperson. 我们先请所长还有副所长先就定位. So to start with, can we please invite our Mr. Hurl from the United States to have a group photo with our host first, and also along with our chairperson. Okay. And now we'd like to welcome the delegation from Japan. So all of the Japanese delegates, please come up. Stay here. So our Japanese delegates, please join the group photo shoot. Thank you. So once again, we are really grateful for your participation and your insights. Hopefully, through our collaborative work, we'll be able to further expand our cooperation. Yes, so now thank you. So we would like to invite our speaker from Korea. So our Korean delegates, please. I believe we're all very excited to visit Seoul next year for the next meeting. For Gangnam Style. So thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now we'd like to invite our representative from Thailand. So Miss Unitamanan, please. Thank you, and we would like to invite our delegates from Indonesia. So our largest delegation, thank you so much for your great support. All right, take a step back, please, and please look at the cameras. All right, give us a big smile. Look at the cameras, please. All right, thank you. Give us a thumbs up. Please, one more photo. Give us a thumbs up. let's have a big group photo, right? 不要吗？ Malaysia, sorry, Malaysia, sorry, Malaysia, sorry, Malaysia. Oh, I'm so sorry, Malaysia. And then followed by the big group photo. So Malaysian delegates, please come forward. Thank you. Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up! So once again, thank you so much for your participation. Okay, one more here. Okay, one more here. One more. One more. All right. Cheese and thumbs up! Thank you. A big round of applause to everyone. Thank you for your hard work throughout the 3 days. Once again, thank you for your participation. And we would like to wish the next OSHRI meeting a great success. And may you enjoy the best of health and every happiness. This concludes the OSHRI meeting. Once again, thank you for your participation. We would like to wish you a very safe trip home and hopefully see you soon next year. Thank you.